Welcome to another episode of Hello Africa. My name is Favor Aya, but I like to be called Favorite. It's a very cold morning right here in the city of Lagos and across the world, wherever you are. Well. Thanks for joining us this morning. With me on the show is BC Belumi.
Thank you for
How you doing,
me.
sir?
I'm doing good.
Did you catch the cold as well?
Sir?
I had to call you sir this morning. I'm quite cold. I'm trying to do everything as possible to get hot.
So calling me sir is going to get you hot?
Probably. But then, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Are you ready for the show today?
I believe I am.
Okay, so you can join us on the show via the link in the description. All you have to do is, like I say, usually join in, drop your comments, would treat as much as possible. We have a lineup of top stories, we have entertainment news, we have BB Niger updates, sport updates, we have an amazing topic, of course. We also have our word facts. Either ways, you can just join us at any point of the show with your comment. Moving on to our top stories, our first story this morning says Nnamdi Kanu.
Now let me take that.
Okay.
Nnamdi Kanu, federal government absent as Abia court adjourns case till October 7th.
Oh, wow. So quick one, the High Court of Abia State on Tuesday adjourned the hearing of this case, and of course, you know, the people of Biafra, the leader of the convener of their movement, Nnamdi Kanu, was supposed to be in appearance for this case, but then there was no hearing as certain uncertainties occurred that were not really properly stated on time for us. But then this is it. I think. Okay, well, that's it. Reacting to the statement of Adesina that Buhari would teach world leaders how to manage their economy during a pandemic. That was a very...
Wait, what?
Yes, honestly. That was what prompted...
Say it again.
Like I said,
Please
Omokri reacted to this when the statement Adesina made that Buhari would teach the world during the UN meeting on how leaders should manage their economy during the pandemic.
I'm sorry, what economy is that? The same economy where our naira is like losing value? I'm
sure, I don't know whatsoever would have prompted this action, but then, you know
that moment in university where we're like, the things they teach us is like theoretical, and then when we get outside to practice, it's like different ballgame entirely.
Different thing entirely.
So I feel like maybe Buhari will teach them the theory, and you know the world will apply it.
Anyways, so Adesina had on Monday disclosed this during an interview with Channels TV that the world leaders at the United Nations, of course, UNGA, United Nations General Assembly meeting, he said President Buhari would be addressing other leaders, and of course Omokri reacted to this in a tweet, and in his tweet he said Femi Adesina, Buhari's in-house clown, is afraid he's about to be replaced by Fani-Kayode.
Well, I mean, there's been news about Fani-Kayode's, deflection from PDP to APC, and the APC welcoming him with like open arms, like come on, like as if it's like a prodigal, some kind of
understand welcoming him as though whatever it is.
It's all unfold by 2023, obviously.
Omokri, well done with your comments.
All right, so our next top story says Sudan coup attempt fail, says the state media.
Oh yeah, so I'm just going to also on that story, quick one, a failed coup attempt was supposed to, or that was planned, not supposed to, sorry about that. So it was planned, but then of course reports from the capital Khartoum nearby Omdurman, I hope I'm correct with the...
I'm pretty sure you're not, but go on.
Okay, said a military activity was carried out to cancel a coup that was planned. And of course, the report says government said it took measures on ground immediately to affirm that this was cancelled. Okay, this one says video show...
The benefit is the aborted coup.
Well, who knows what they are showing?
Most times when a coup comes up, it's not like as if they're just trying to take over a government. It's like people trying to unseat an oppressive government.
An oppressive government.
Or
yes,
a non-functional government.
Exactly.
Most of the time. Most of the cases.
Like in this case, of course, it was, I think it was 2 years ago or something, they removed the sitting president, President Omar al-Bashir or something, right? Who had been in a long-term role in office for a very long time, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a coup was planned that took him off. But then, of course, let's just move on to our next story and stop.
All right, the next top story, PIB. Buhari seeks Senate confirmation of board members for new agencies.
Okay, so the Senate of the Federal Republic received an official letter from President Buhari as regards the petroleum industry bill, which I feel they are making, I don't know, to me, I feel they are making progress with the bill. Okay. Notwithstanding, I don't know, but let's look into the story. So, reading this, it says the president in another letter to the upper chamber also sought the confirmation of the board of the Upstream Regulatory Commission. So, they were to commission, of course, the bill, and the letter that was sent was in notification that he had selected certain personnel to lead the upstream and the downstream of this sector. Yeah. And one thing with the industry is giving a go-ahead, partial go-ahead, would still be supporting the fact that you haven't looked at the 3% that those nations or these communities that are saying we are the host community providing this oil. Yeah. We do not want to go on with production until the 5% that the Senate moved for 5%, I guess. Yeah,
okay, 5%, because I remember the last time it was 3% that he offered.
No, the Buhari is offering 3%.
Oh, 3%, exactly.
The Senate is saying
5%.
You can do 5%, and the communities are saying raise it to 10%.
Exactly. I feel I'm on
so
the
nothing has
side.
been done, no adjustment has been made either, but he's now sending letters out saying, can we go on and commission this movement already so that they can get to work.
But if an agreement has not been reached, I don't think they can move on to just pass the bill like that.
Well, of course, he has been taking certain actions like that in recent times, and nobody has questioned them. So why would someone question this one right now?
That's a valid
Of course,
point.
in this letter, he also mentioned the names of some of the people who nominees that he wanted to be granted confirmation as leaders for the upper stream and the downstream. Okay. Well, that's it for that story.
And the next one says Biden to deliver first United Nations General Assembly speech as the President of the United States.
Oh, well, this was, of course, the official first statement for Biden in the United Nations General...
Since he got into
office. Well, of course, what we need to know of is the world leaders gathered, of course, in New York yesterday for the United Nations, the 76th United Nations Assembly meeting. Of course, members of states addressed two parallel challenges, of course, which we already know, the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, and redefining post-pandemic global economic growth. So when the president came, of course, the president also delivered his first speech as president, and he also pushed for response to major issues, which also included climate issues. Recent times we've been hearing of excess flooding and so many other situations. But basically, I like the fact that the entire world is putting efforts and coming together to see how we can fight pandemic and bring it to an end. And this was the emphasis in this speech, meeting. I do hope that as every other country is seeing how they can move to help and a post-pandemic economical growth, Nigeria is also going to key into it so that...
Well, they did say your president was going to teach the world how to
handle when it's going. But what of the aftermath? The aftermath? Can you handle the aftermath?
I think there'll be another lecturer for that speech.
You're just being a joke. Okay, we're going to take a break, quick one, and when we get back, of course, we'll move on with our top stories. Stay with us, don't go nowhere. Welcome back. Of course, it's still Hello Africa. In case you're just joining us, we're dealing with our top stories. My name is Favor. I like to be called Fav, right? With me in the studio is BC Pelumi.
Thank you.
Yeah, BC, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, getting back to our stories, I just needed to confirm you're still here.
I'm definitely here.
Okay, so moving on to our stories, BC is going to handle this one. This one says Trudeau claims narrow victory in Canada elections.
Yeah, so Canada just had their federal elections, and in their parliament system, they need about any party needs about 170 votes of the 338 seats of House of Commons. All right, and Trudeau's party, that's the Liberals, had 156 votes or seats rather. All right, so they are 14 short of the 170 majority vote. So they are not in the majority. That is a minority. But however, it means he has won his second term. But he would also have to be forced to work with the other parties to govern the whole, to govern Canada. That's how their whole election.
Is it because of the number, or that's how it works?
That's how it works. Like you need, if you have 170 votes of 338 votes, that's the majority. You've covered more than half, and they're the majority. Party leading the House of Commons. But then when you have something short, but you're still the highest, but a little bit short of the 170 mark, you have to work with other parties that have enough to govern the country and all that. So and I like his statement. He said Canadians have sent a clear message of support for progressive policies, and so that's really good.
Okay, all right, moving on. This one says Gabby Petito's conversations with her mother revealed more and more tension with fiancé, affidavit says.
All right, so this is a case where a lady, Gabby Petito, was in a relationship with a fiancé, and they were on a cross-country road trip across, the United States. And for some reason, a fiancé got back without her.
Oh.
Right, and the parents,
had questions.
No, they even reported to the police that she's missing. All right, and then even the fiancé is nowhere to be found. Like, he just disappeared. He got back with the van, and then he disappeared. And police have been, searching for him. And as at Tuesday, if I recall correctly, as at Tuesday this week, they found some remains.
Whoa!
Some remains of a corpse that they were going to confirm if it was her. And upon confirmation, the autopsy revealed that
it was her.
It was yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
So they ruled it no longer as a missing case, but it's a homicide.
Case.
Yeah, it's a homicide case, and they don't know the manner of death yet. Like, they don't know the exact cause of death, but pending the final result of the autopsy, they would find out if what the cause of death. If she was butchered,
alien jumped in.
Come on. But then, of course, something is obvious that something happened that we're not seeing yet. Because why is the fiancé on the run if he's innocent?
Because
why is he on the run? He came back quite okay, and then he disappeared. All right, so people, law enforcement are trying to, especially the FBI, they're on the case, and hopefully he would be, apprehended.
That's a very sad story. Well, this one says Northern Hemisphere summer of wildfires let off record-breaking carbon emissions.
Yeah, still on the whole climate change and the whole meeting, the whole UN General Assembly.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just read this this statement. Intense blazes, including fires in hotspots in the Mediterranean, North America, and Siberia, let off more than 2.7 billion metric tons of carbon over the summer, with July and August both breaking monthly records for emissions from fire. Because of the change in climate now, wildfires catch on, and they get started easily, and it's destroying a lot of what's it called? Let's say green real estate or like vegetation and all of that, releasing 2.7 billion metric tons of carbon. That's a lot of carbon.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of carbon.
Man. Anyways, moving on to our next story. It says China's Evergrande puts on a brave face, but will Beijing bail it out? All
right, so the Evergrande, excuse me.
Oh, Evergrande.
Evergrande Group is a real estate developer, right? And they are indebted.
Okay.
And their debts, the interest of their debts is totaling $100 million, and it's due on Thursday, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? But however, their total liability is at $300 billion.
So, if they have $300 billion
in liability.
Oh, wow.
not assets, in
Okay,
liability.
I needed to be sure I heard properly.
In liability. All right, so ideally, the Beijing government wants to deter excessive risk taking from property developers like Evergrande and all of that. But at the same time, they're not going to jump in to bail them out. I mean, like easily. But what they also want to maintain is like stability in the property sector, because Evergrande alone controls about 6.5% in the total debt held by the country's property sector, according to an estimate by Union Bank of Switzerland.
Yeah.
But as policymakers, they will probably wait first. Right, then step in later to ensure an orderly debt restructuring. Probably they will restructure the repayments procedure for Evergrande and
But then Evergrande is like a privately owned business.
It's probably also on their stock exchange, so it can be a private conglomerate, but like they have their.
But the interesting thing about this is, I like the fact that the entire China's government, right, is looking at coming into the case, right? Now, if they do that, it helps them ease some tension on the business, and that brings us to when you have a business that services internationally or services the society and it's holding strongly. Oftentimes, it's even so long as you're providing the service, you have the back of, just like we have Dangote servicing the country currently. If there was a problem, and someone has said one time that oftentimes most businesses that are most successful like this, they still owe a lot of debt. They owe a lot of debt.
They owe a lot of debt, but then when your liabilities are totaling $300 billion, how much is your revenue in the first place? What's your market capital? Do you understand? These are questions that you ask, and if you're going to, as a policymaker, these are the things you need to check. Like, okay, what is their current market capital in that sector? What is their revenue that they generate
for
financial quarter, per financial year? Is it going to be able to finance the debt,
liabilities,
or even just the interest? But right now they are stuck. They're not financing the interest, and their liabilities are $300 billion. If it was just 300 billion yuan or yen rather, is different, because if you adjust for exchange,
what do you mean?
$300 billion. That's a lot of money. That's like 3 Jeff Bezos.
And we're still owing them. We're not owing them. We're owing China.
You didn't have to put that in, but that's fine.
Okay. Moving on. This one says retired police officers storm National Assembly, protest contributory pension scheme.
Yeah. So first of all, contributory pension scheme is where the members of a pension contribute to that pension itself. From, I think, their pay as well. So the protesters from 27 states and the Federal Capital Territory are demanding that they should be excluded from this scheme, just like their counterparts, the Departments of State Services, the DSS, and other security agencies. They said the scheme was making officers wallow in poverty as they are earning poor pensions after serving the nation for 35 years. Now, if the police are earning poor pensions, you can understand why. I'm not saying it's a major causing factor, but it also has an effect. You can understand why police brutality and all this kind of extortion come into play, because they know there's no fallback when they retire. And there's no insurance.
There's no insurance
when they get killed on the job or injured on the job. So why? Excuse my language. Okay, don't let me curse. But why not?
Well, if you, I just hope that the government looks into their situations, or because these are the things they brought as the reasons that was prompting their actions. Some of the reasons. They were not properly serviced, paid. During the NSAS, we learned these things. And if they are coming again to protest about certain obligations from the government to them, it should be already their pension is very low, right? I think the percentage is quite on the low side, which they've been moving for. Now, still taking from it to service other pensioners is seeming like it's not a very balanced equation for
at all. And one last thing I wanted to even come across is that seeing as how their pension is like on the low side, and the NSAS protest, it was a bunch of reasons that they were giving. My question now is, even the government, right? They're like owing a lot of things. There's ASU, the university, saying that they should pay a certain amount. Doctors are saying they should pay a certain amount. Now police officers are saying they should pay, and now the international people that were owing has not even come to ask us that start paying. So my question is, what is the way forward as a country?
I was going to sing a song for you, but I'm trying to put myself together. But then, who do you want me to ask right now?
I know the song.
Okay, now you know. All right, we're just going to take a break on this note, and when we get back, of course, we'll bring you our entertainment and BB Niger updates. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, well, you haven't missed so much. Just the top stories. You're meeting us right now on our entertainment and business BB Niger update. Sorry about that. My name is Favor Aya, and I have BC in the house. BC, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You've asked me that.
I just keep asking you because I want to be sure you're intact.
I am intact. Why do you want to be sure I'm intact?
All right. You can join us or be a part of our conversation via the link in the description. You drop your comments also, and we would, of course, do justice with it. Our first entertainment story today says, Nigerians react as gospel singer Lanre Teriba's baby mamas accuse musician of child neglect. Very sad.
How many baby mamas are we talking about?
Now, that's the point. You are a gospel artist. And of course, the ladies complained. There was one who particularly said on social media that, he denied moving on and having to dump his wife, and he's been alone ever since his wife left. So he was going to start a future with her, promised her a lot of things, and of course, put her in the family line by getting her pregnant. And now he left her alone, not willing to take responsibility. The point is, how many children would you have? These things, of course, she also complained about how these things mix children. She specifically said the government should put a bill on people who go out, or men who get ladies pregnant and leave them to cater for the children, because eventually these are the reasons the children turn to armed robbers or fraudsters and do all manner of stuff. She said that clearly, and she said, please, she's calling him out to come and be responsible. And alongside, several other ladies came and commented and said their own bit about this very guy. I just hope.
I mean, first of all, I would say I disagree with that lady who is saying the government should write a bill about one thing.
Yeah, you disagree. You're a polygamous. I don't know if you're a polygamous man or something.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
All right.
If your baby daddy is neglecting, there is already a government set up facility for that. That's the domestic disputes. So in the court, there's a way you can settle that in the court. If you can prove that, okay, this is the father, and then he's neglecting his responsibilities as the father, the government will stop him. But then now saying the government should now bring a brand new bill to do that.
They should. But she just mentioned
there's a lot
that.
of things.
Yeah, I
but
was
now
going to read it.
The question now is, Mr. Lanre Teriba, I think you should kindly, reply or respond to these allegations. Yes, to these allegations. We're not setting yet, so I can't say if they are real or unreal. I mean, he's a gospel singer, so.
Oh well, we just hope he pays attention and gives us a response. This one says, add value to your life before looking for somebody's son. BB Niger's Alex Dish's relationship advice. So she took to her Instagram with a very long note advising ladies to, of course, which I support, be on the business side. Add value to your life. Be of relevance to this person. If you're going to be a partner to someone, you're not just being there as a statue. Be able to support them emotionally. It doesn't even have to be. I don't like talking about myself, but then I'm very concerned about people who care about your emotions, even if they don't give you any value. They're concerned about your emotional growth, how you feel. Sometimes people just need you to talk to them. But then, of course, it's important that someone of her caliber is coming out to say this to people. So, when you have a wide outreach, your advice or whatever you are telling people goes a long way to reach them.
Even if it's right or wrong.
No, that's why I said her influence. And this is right. This is right. If she did it the wrong way, if she was giving the wrong advice, you wouldn't come out to. Please be careful.
You'll be surprised.
Okay, next story says Davido gushes over Tiwa Savage's hit song, Somebody's Son. says he can't control himself whenever it comes on. Interesting. That's a great song. Big congrats to you, Tiwa Savage. We celebrate you on that song. Moving on to our next story. I'm the main and side chick. I can't leave him for anyone. Churchill's wife, Rosie Murrah, gushes over him.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
All right. Duly noted.
You have him to yourself. No one's taking him from you.
Are you sure?
But then, of course, other handles said Sumto. What's her name? Sorry, Tonto. Not sorry. Some other handles carried Tonto DK's ex-husband's wife. Why do people always come out to say things like that?
Because they are people, they have opinions, they're entitled to their opinions.
You should have just mentioned it. I like the way we also put it though.
Straightforward.
Wizkid claims he is a single father looking for a wife as baby mama continues to call him her man. Fans react. I don't want to say anything.
Wizzy, you're planning to settle down?
He just wants, he's praying that during his tour, of course, he would find a lady who would love him and, of course, be his partner.
Somebody daughter go.
But then that's not even the point. The point is the babe is coming out to say I just feel she's proud of him. She has been claiming him ever since their baby. She had a baby for him. She's the last baby mama. The most recent, the last wife, the most recent
update.
So she had to come out and tell people, please, he's mine.
He's still mine.
And then she came out to congratulate him on his performances and said, I feel peace anytime I see my man up there on stage doing his thing. That my man is very... Anyways, to our BB Naija update. This one says, after the first 10 minutes I spent with you, I knew I was in trouble.
Saga tells
Nini.
Uncle, from the very first day you approached Nini, you have been in trouble.
I've been in trouble.
It's not the first 10 minutes.
What kind of love is that?
First moment.
Anyways, moving on. This one says, Emmanuel secures... Oh, wow. Okay, Emmanuel secures...
Ultimate veto. Wow.
Place in finals as he wins ultimate veto. Picks head of house and deputy. Others face eviction. Sadly.
And someone was telling me Emmanuel is a very strategic person to follow the cause.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to call their love affair a gameplay, but I mean, she does have 1 million followers on IG before going to the house. A verified dance,
dance person,
so I think when he heard that, it was like 2 + 2. 4. It
was a growth for her. Well, big congrats.
I'm just happy that she's enjoying the whole thing. So it's a win-win.
I have disappointed myself. White Money tells Queen in a romantic chit chat. Okay. That's between you and
Joseph.
Your love, Queen. It's personal. Okay. I would have chosen Nini as deputy if I won the ultimate power. Licorus. Oh. Well, women supporting women. That's good.
Go women power.
Okay, I am going to be here for you. White Money reconciles with Queen. Oh, that's good. Great one. Interesting. Be there for her. Okay, that's it with our entertainment and BB Naija update. When we get back, of course, BC would take you on our sport update briefly. And of course, we'll head to our topic for the day. We hope you stick to your screens. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the sports segments of Hello Africa. I'm BC and I will be running you through our sports stories. Stay with us. All right, so the first one, Usyk jumping in at the deep end, says Anthony Joshua. British World Heavyweight Champion Anthony Joshua praised Alexander Usyk for being bold in challenging him for his belts after just 2 bouts at the weight. Joshua is set to face World Boxing Organization mandatory challenger Usyk in London on Saturday, with a crowd of some 60,000 expected at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Joshua, whose World Boxing Association and International Boxing Federation titles are also on the line, compared Usyk's lack of experience to boxing legend Evander Holyfield before tackling a heavyweight championship fight. Our second story says Mendy faces race against pain and time to play versus Man City. Thomas Tuchel has confirmed that Senegal international, who is nursing a knock, will not face Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. Chelsea are sweating on the fitness of Edouard Mendy ahead of a crunch Premier League clash with Manchester City on Saturday, with Thomas Tuchel admitting that his first-choice goalkeeper faces a race against pain and time. The Senegal international was able to figure in a 3-0 derby win over Tottenham in the Blues' last outing, with a knock picked up in a Champions League clash with Zenit, keeping him on the sidelines. Mendy has now been ruled out of Carabao Cup third-round tie with Aston Villa on Wednesday. Oscula headlines Bohi's strong team for Newmarket. George Bohi's Oscula and Cachet set for Group 2 Rockfell Stakes on Friday at Newmarket. Corazon supplemented for Chivley's Park Stakes along the Thunderlove Mystery Angel to run in Princess Royal Stakes. Oscula will spearhead George Bohi's strong team of fillies heading to Newmarket this week. The Group 3 winner will run in the Rockfell Stakes on Friday along with stablemate Cachet, while Oaks runner-up Mystery Angel will try to bounce back from a disappointing run in France last time out in the Princess Royal Stakes. Bohi will also have 2 runners in the Group 1 Jodmont Chevley Park Stakes with Corazon, third in the Flying Chidlers last time out, supplemented to join Thunderlove, who was 5th in the same race. England Roses aim to bounce back against New Zealand. England Roses seek to level series against New Zealand after losing opener on Monday. After a return to international netball for the first time in almost 12 months, there was lots to be impressed about as England rallied a draw level with the world champions in the final quarter. However, a New Zealand team who had only 3 full days preparation as a squad due to travel restrictions in the country managed to reset and eventually secure a 48-42 victory. Cash hopes to make Poland debut with World Cup looming. Aston Villa defender Matty Cash wants to break into the Poland team ahead of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The 24-year-old from Slough has a Polish mother and has lodged the paperwork to apply for citizenship. Cash's mother is Polish and the right back is keen to feature for Paulo Sousa's side as soon as possible, with the World Cup in Qatar just 14 months away. The 24-year-old from Slough has now lodged the necessary paperwork with the international authorities to apply for a Polish passport. It is understood it could take up to 8 weeks for his citizenship to be approved, making it very unlikely he will be able to feature in next month's World Cup qualifiers. And that's a wrap for our sports segment. Stay with us as we bring you our topic for the day and also our weird facts. Hello Africa, we just concluded our top stories, entertainment news, BB Niger updates, and also we've run you through our sports updates. Right now, the 2 segments left is our topic for the day and our weird facts. And of course, with me is Favor Aya, who likes to be called Favorite.
Yeah.
Favor, how you doing?
I'm good. Well done. Welcome on the show if you're just joining us. But then if you've been part of the show from the start. Well, congrats to you. This is our topic moment where we get to discuss some very vital issues and bring valid points on these issues. Sometimes we also like to engage in this discussion with you. Excuse me. So, BC, what's our topic for today?
All right, so this one is more like a quote from the former governor of CBN during when he was giving a speech, and it says, "Stop cursing leaders for hardship." That was like straightforward. Stop cursing leaders for hardship. But I would say it was speaking to Nigerians at large as much as he was speaking to an Islamic group where he was invited to speak. And he said that patience, fervent prayers, and standing up to get things better in the country through legitimate ways are required in the country now. He said this while addressing the Tijaniya. That's
Tijaniya.
Tijaniya, okay. Apologies to my Muslim brothers if I can't pronounce that properly. Adherents from 7 states of the Northwest Geopolitical Zone on Tuesday in Sokoto. And he said, and I quote, "What is expected of us now is patience, fervent prayer, and we must stand up to get things better in our own way through legitimate ways." Now, my question is, what are those legitimate ways?
Ways that they haven't provided, exactly.
Exactly. Like, the only thing he has mentioned here is we should pray.
Okay.
And we should get involved in, he was addressing his Muslim brothers, the Islamic group, movements that they should pray, they should be patient, and then they should involve themselves in political whatever. But then, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to say, for me, I feel because it was a religious gathering, he had the license to say this, or he had every right to mention this. Apparently, I'm coming from the context of which I felt he made this statement.
Okay.
So, you probably feel like people who are in this kind of gathering would blame the government for everything, but at this point, he's trying to make them understand that even the masses have a role to play, which is very true. But nevertheless, the government is playing
a major role.
The major role. And who are the leading factors in the government? Of course, the leaders. We are just the masses. We all make up the government, but our role is just to follow, right?
Okay.
We play our own role by following and obeying and carrying out our own activities to aid the economy. But those people who are in the leadership make the decisions, they make the call. And when the decisions are not right, the calls are not right, things are not put in place properly, with corruption taking the lead instead of them actually taking the lead, I don't think it's okay to make this statement. You can't blame it on people cursing. People only curse because somehow the government is even frustrating people's efforts.
Okay.
So that's where I would now say I wouldn't support him making a statement. But generally, it's okay for him to make a statement like this, especially because of the gathering where he finds himself.
Yeah, I support what you said. It's a religious gathering, and then he had to go on to say that their religion does not preach, does not support cursing people in authorities that they should obey. But that's fine. What my own challenge with the whole speech or the whole statement is, you do not provide any legitimate ways for us to get our voices heard. The last time we tried to protest, they shot us.
Okay.
And they covered it up. Nobody took
he was supposed to talk about
responsibility for that. Okay, it's fine, no problem. And we tried it again to protest, and then they arrested us. Here's what's happening right now on social media. If you check,
said we tried it again.
We, as in the youth, younger generations.
Okay.
Yes, I was at the end-class protest, the one at the Keja. Anyway, so moving on. If you compare how repentant Boko Haram
corporate,
okay, well, they are repentant, so can we still call them corporate? Repentant Boko Haram members, if you compare how they are being treated and how protesters are being treated, it's a debate on social media. Okay, people are saying that repentant Boko Haram members are being treated with respect and dignity and care than protesters protesting against bad governance and insecurity.
All
right, so you're saying that we should just, before I was born, my parents and their grandparents have been praying for Nigeria. You understand? So if you're not telling me that I should be fervent in prayer, are you saying those prayers are not enough? Right now, what we need to take is pragmatic actions that would bring about results that will effect the change that we want in the country.
Yeah.
So my question now for the former governor of CBN and former emir of I didn't even know you could become a former emir. I thought it was like...
Just hit your question, don't worry.
My question now is, what is his own end goal for coming out to say this at a time like this? For me, it's suspicious. I don't know about you.
Well, I feel like I said earlier, because of where he is, he's making his declarations known to those people that he is concerned about their spiritual and personal lives. So cursing your leaders is bad, of course, yes, like you said. But then sometimes it's not really cursing. It might be people stating the actual fact. You're not responsible for what, by telling people, calling them out to say you're responsible for this, own up to your responsibilities. You are leaders. This is what you should do them. I feel those are the primary things he should look at, instead of whether it's cost or not cost. Like you mentioned earlier, what has he done in place, or what exactly are the actions that the leaders are taking to solve our problems, so that we know at least they are making some form of effort, and we are seeing the efforts. Everything at this point, both to mention a few, the insurgencies, insecurities, all put together. Yeah, it's just too much a handful to bear. Yes, and so if you were to give us any options and comments, it should be that we should continue to strive. We should be patient and trust the government to come to resolution with this.
Okay, I agree with you to some extent, but at the same time, if you're going to say legitimate ways, at least suggest those legitimate ways. It can be, if you're going to go into next election, young people should go out and start registering for their PVCs. It should be things like, okay, when it's time for an election, actually go out and cast your votes, do not sell your votes. And it should be things like, okay, if we're going to look at the financial sector and the Naira, because he was the former governor of CBN, and Naira is like getting devalued every day. So he was going to suggest legitimate ways. He should say, okay, this is my advice to the current governor of CBN, this is my advice to the current minister of finance or minister of economics or something like that, and then tell them these are the things you should do, not just wrap it up in a vague statement. But then you said something while you were talking, that at the point where the government or those in the position of leadership have frustrated the people, cursing them and sending or throwing harsh words against them is inevitable. Besides, there is freedom of speech. Do you understand? So at some point, when we see that the governments are not taking us in the direction that we should go, and they are not even listening to our plight, we would at some point dish out all these harsh words and curses. But hey, like you said, it's a religious gathering, so
whatever the case may be. Also, just to add to what you have said, we probably might not get. We would always have people like him come out to say these things, because like you remember the last time in one of our stories we talked about a pastor from Zamfara. Do you remember who who was also giving advice that if we're going to pick political leaders, we shouldn't look at any region. We should all those things. So
why questioned why he's giving that.
So now the point is, people will always come out to give you these advices, but I feel like if you've had the opportunity of leading any of the major sectors or sections in the country, and you have a voice, your voice should be to our leaders. The masses are doing their role to their own beat, as much as it can be controlled. It can be controlled.
And they've endured a lot.
Yeah, exactly, because the masses have really put up with the insecurity. When something has become too disturbing, it causes some form of alarming instability with people not trusting their neighbors. If things were going on smoothly, I believe the masses would also be able to adjust. But when everything is haphazard, everyone is confused as to where they are going, what's the next future for the country.
Uncertainties everywhere.
Very uncertainties everywhere. So I believe and I hope that this statement will be remade. He would look into things, and then next time he will be giving a voice to people. It should be for something more positive, dashing,
realistic,
something more. Exactly, that's the word.
All right, so I think we would like to take this question to the streets and ask people sooner or later. We'll bring you the feedback from that. But that's a wrap on our topic. Next up is the rare facts. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Of course, it's been an amazing show today. Big thanks to you, BC, for being very proactive and very, very smart today. Yeah, and if you are just joining us...
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or
now
sarcasm.
that I'm giving you a compliment, you should take it in warm arms. Before
you change your mind, apologies.
Welcome on the show. Yes, if you just joined us, we've had quite a show today, and of course, this is where we bring the show to an end with our word facts, of course, after the word facts. But then this is the most interesting part of the show. My name is Favor Aya. Now, our first word fact. I hope you have a pen and a paper so you could learn something.
Or your smartphone on, put it on Google, and you can quickly type and check what we're saying.
To confirm, yeah. Some houses in Tunisia are made from fish bones. This is because the locals believe fish have supernatural powers and will protect against evil spirits.
Okay, fine.
That's in Tunisia.
If it protects against evil spirits, does it protect against earthquakes, storms, and things that can break down houses?
Yeah.
How strong is that fish bone, by the way?
Very strong.
It might not be the whole house. It might just be like a part of the house.
A part of the house, exactly.
I'll go with that. That one is more realistic. It's a part of the house.
Senegal has a pink lake called La Rose. The pink color is caused by a type of bacteria, but the lake is completely safe to swim in.
No, thank you. I have not seen a pink lake before. I would not be swimming in any color of lake that is different from.
It's a colorful
colorless
view from here. I think
it's
I
a
want to
colorful
see it
view.
sometime.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
you like bacteria, by the
swim
way.
in it. Yeah.
So go ahead and swim in there. For me, it's a no. Africa's most commonly spoken language is Arabic. English is second. Did you know
really?
that?
I didn't know that.
Neither did I, because I was always taught English and French
were the most common languages.
So where's this Arabic coming from?
Well, okay. Good. We've learned today. In rural markets in the province of Limpopo, mopane worms can be found being sold as food. These are high in protein, and the locals love them as a smoky snack.
Wow.
When there's fish, there's this thing that comes with.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Worms, smoked worms.
It's weird.
We'll just stick to fish.
All right. Nigeria's movie industry, Nollywood, is technically bigger than Hollywood. I would like to know what the technically there is.
Yes, I will give you technicality. We have epic. We have the modern age. We also have the, I don't know what they call them, the very local.
You could have just said the indigenous.
Oh, indigenous, yeah. We have the Yoruba. We have the Igbo.
There's the Hausa as well.
Yeah, I think so. They also have them. I think they do it by region.
So technically, yes,
they do it by geographical regions, yeah. And it's
good. That's a real
fact. I think if they collectively come together,
there
should be something handy that will come out of it. Maybe it's this separation that's making us still where we are.
That's
in the rating.
We
should really consider, yeah.
All right, so this one says Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt, 200 plus pyramids, but the largest pyramid is actually found in Mexico. Yeah, but the most popular one is still Egypt, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Please read this one.
The world's largest frog lives in Cameroon. Oh wow, it looks so big. I mean, almost half his body. It's named the Goliath frog, and it can grow to be more than 30 inches long.
13 inches.
13 inches long. Is it still growing or is it dead already?
Because I know that people eat frogs, so if people should see this weird fact, now I know some people that will travel down to Cameroon to just like...
This frog is really big.
It's big. This is like...
very weird.
Weird. Right? Like, why would a frog go that big? The small one that's hopping up all around is weird enough. All right, Zambia has termite hills that get as large as houses. Okay, I would not want to fall inside that place at all.
Imagine being inside that kind of
I don't
termite.
want to imagine. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No
bites.
No. The Sahara Desert is currently larger than the entire United States, and it continues to grow each year. Oh, wow. Really?
Interesting.
That's quite interesting, yeah.
French is spoken by more people in Africa than in France, and Portuguese is spoken by a larger number of people in Africa than in Portugal. So where did Arabic come as the most popular language spoken? We just mentioned French and Portugal now.
No, relax. It's spoken by more people.
By more people. Oh, okay. I mean, if a language is spoken by more people, that means the language is more popular, you know.
Apparently, I'm getting. Is it weird fact?
They're both weird.
They are weird.
They are weird. Okay.
Okay. I think that's it for today on our Weird Facts, and of course that brings us to the end of our show for today. It's been a great show. Right?
Yeah, thank you all for joining us on today's episode. It's been interesting. It's been fun. And we've had interesting conversations that are, you know, quite educative. And of course, interesting word facts as well. Good to hold it down with you, Phil, right? And so, yeah, I'm still Adebisi Pelumi. BC is how I like to be called.
Good.
I had to make catch.
Yeah,
but you can call me. I prefer if you call me BC, actually. Yes.
Right. Thank you for joining us on the show today. We still have our week on. And of course, I trust your week is going as productive as we planned earlier. Of course, we look forward to having you again on the show. I am Favor Aya, but I like to be called Favor. I hope to see you again sometime.